Hello, and welcome to another Corey Can Do, where we're making this awesome knight's helmet that you can wear with a visor that moves up and down. Come and join us if you want to do this awesome make. For this make, we'll need the following materials: permanent marker, pencil, a cutter, some scissors, hole puncher, some split pins, masking tape, stapler. We're going to need a ruler, A4 sheets of scrap paper, newspaper, a cutting mat, and definitely going to need a glue gun. It's important to have a glue gun for this project. And of course, our Tetrapaks, and I'd say you probably need about 4 to 5 of these. So as you know, we prepare them by washing them, cutting off the bottom and the top, and flattening them out and drying them really well so that the permanent marker sticks to them. Cool, let's go. So, for this project, we're going to start off by making a paper mold. We want to tape our A4 paper together like this, so that it's lengthways going to fit around a head. So, I'm going to take this and show you what I do. Right, I pop this around my head and I stick it together. And what I'm doing is kind of wrapping my head into a hat. So I do this in order to get a really nice thing that fits my shape, and I want to fold it front and back like a parcel. Now, you might need the help of an adult to do this. Make sure that you have the tape on hand, and then tape it down flat. Right. Once you've done this, you're going to mark up where your eye and your nose are so that you get a center point and it fits you. Right. Now, take this over to your table and flatten it down. And draw your eye hole. Take a pair of scissors and cut this shape out. So it'll be looking a little something like this. You might need a little extra tape just to make sure that everything stays in position. This mold doesn't have to be perfect, but it will really help you with your Tetrapak if you get it down. So next we are going to work on our visor. Now the visor comes out of a sheet of A4 like so. You want to fold it in half. You want to draw yourself a 7 centimeter kind of width from the top so that you know that you've got enough to fold down once you start doing your pleats. So 7 centimeters, mark that up and draw a curve down in a peak to the front of your paper. Once you've got that, you can cut this out. And then you're going to take your marker or a pencil, and with your ruler you want to draw a diagonal line down and a vertical line up and a horizontal line across so that you've got a kind of grid that you're going to work into. I used 1 to 2 centimeters as gaps and spacings for these grills that we're going to do, and then I drew some vertical lines downward to mark out where I was going to scalpel out my holes. So the scalpel or the cutter is needed next, and you're going to want to use your ruler as a guide to cut these away. Great. Once you've got these cut out, you pop them all out. And then if you've got any places where they tore or ripped, you can use a little bit of tape to stick things back together. Remember, this is just a mold, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're going to fold down at about 2 centimeters from the top and roll. And we will be doing this to add some extra strength and to allow this to be quite a self-supporting shape. I staple these and I'm going to hole punch the ends. Great, that's our visor. This will help us when we come to put it onto our helmet. There we go. So the other thing that we need here, our helmet needs these flaps to stop our knight's grill from dropping down onto our face. So we're going to want to place these side pieces, and you take a sheet of A4, fold it in half, fold it again like so, and then we're going to want to cut a little curved shape out of these. We're taking a very loose approach here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can adapt this as you're making it. For example, if you've got a smaller person to work with a shorter neck, you'd just make these pieces smaller, but they will help your grill not fall down upon your face. I'm going to loosely mark where I would stick my visor in. And now I'm going to tape these side pieces on so that you can see how this looks. The other great thing about doing this paper mold first is that if it needs adapting, you can cut this up to fit the person who you're making it for and adjust anything before you use the Tetrapak. Great, now we're ready to go with the Tetrapak. So as you can see, one Tetrapak is about a sheet of A4. So I've stuck them together, and now I'm just going to neaten off the edges to make sure that it's nice and straight. And now I'm going to start doing exactly the same kind of process that I did earlier with my paper mold. I'm going to fit it to my head. So far we can staple along. There we go. I've noticed that it's a little bit short, so I'm going to add another section. So I'm just going to take a chunk of Tetrapak and staple it into this location. Once I've got this attached, I'm going to masking tape the insides of my shape. So first, I went and fitted it to my head. Marked where I needed to staple it. Great, and I've got it together. Now, I want to make sure that things are comfortable and that they don't split open. So I'm going to use a little bit of masking tape along the inside of my helmet so that everything feels nice and comfortable. So anywhere where the Tetrapak's joined with another one, I would call these my seams. I'm taping them down along the inside. Great, now I flatten out my helmet shape because I want to find where the best point is to make my mold fit. There we go. So I've discovered that this is the best place to mark out my eye hole. I'm going to now cut this away. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we wrap our head into that present-like cube now that we've got our Tetrapak. So you want to crease your edges so that you get your corners, and then you want to push it in together and get it taped in the middle. I'm going to grab a little bit of tape to show you how this works. Obviously, I'm working solo, but when you've got the help of somebody else, they can do this for you. Now I want to make sure I get my front pieces creased and folded in the correct way. So I play around with the material a little bit to make sure that I push things out and get a nice square shape. And the same goes for the back. I'm folding it along. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip at these creases that I made. And by doing this, it allows me to fold these bits into the inside of my helmet. So cutting it allows it to lie flat against my head when I glue it, otherwise it would have double the material. So I pop it on again so that you can see. Now I'm going to tape that front piece. Tape my back piece. Okay, it's time to get my side pieces made up now. So with the remaining Tetrapak, I'm going to tape these 2 bits of mold to the inside and get those cut out. Once these are traced on, I use my scissors to cut them out. And now I'm going to connect them to my helmet. I staple them at the front so that I know they're roughly in the right place. As you can see, I'm kind of stapling them on to this lower edge of the Tetrapak, leaving about 2 centimeters. I use an abundant amount of hot glue to get this glued down. Trim anything off that might not feel quite right. Great, and now I'm ready to glue the top. So, I just release the tape where I need it, because I can pick off whatever I don't need afterwards. And I glue the back section. Great. And now I'm just making sure that any last bits of tape are removed and that everything is glued down really nicely. I want to make a circular piece to go on the crown of this, but first I'm going to work on my visor. So I take my visor, trace it onto my Tetrapak, and then cut it all out with my knife. As you can see, it's a little bit short at the side, so I'm going to extend those with some bits of Tetrapak that I've got knocking around. I just trim it down to the size that I need and get that stapled on. A little bit of tape on the opposite side just helps with those seams. And now I'm going to take my mold and work through where my lines might need to get cut or trimmed. Take any excess off with my knife. Great. And now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do my 2 centimeter creases that take me down to roughly the size of visor shape. And then I'm going to hot glue this down in order to make sure that it stays flush against the grill. Great. Trim off any edges I don't need. And I'm going to curve it a little bit. There we go. I want my visor to be able to move up and down, so when I'm punching my holes into my helmet, I need to think this through carefully. Get my holes popped into the sides and mark it against my helmet, where I think it will allow for this movement. Pop my hole in with my knife, get my split pins, push them through, and open them out on the other side. Now I'm making that round shape that's going to go at the crown of my helmet. This is going to disguise all those little bits that I folded in earlier. Great. Now it's time for you to decorate things. So take your permanent marker and contour your shapes. On my visor, I just do some black outlining and then some rivet holes and a few little cross hatchings for shading. And on my helmet, I'm using whatever lines my Tetrapak already has and decorating my helmet. And I'm trying to make sure that I do the same patterns on either side. And I'm adding these really chunky rivets. You can choose to do whatever kind of pattern you'd like on your crown. I went for a kind of rosette. And then I added my cross hatching all over the helmet. Reattach my visor, and there we go. Super duper cool medieval knight's helmet. You can go jousting. Have a great time, and I hope you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me.